Okay, let's give you guys some more practice. So now we're on Jupiter. We're going to fire a cannonball at 72 meters per second upwards. Gravity on Jupiter is this. The first question is to find out the time of flight. Now, time of flight is the time that the cannonball is in flight. So it will reach its maximum point here, and then it will free fall down back to the same level. So the time of flight is this total time here. Okay, and the second part is find out the height above ground after 5 seconds. Okay, on Jupiter there's no ground; it's just a ball of gas. But just pretend that there is some sort of platform for us to rest our cannonball, for us to rest our cannon. So find out. Well, when you fire it, it will do something like this, and then after 5 seconds, it will probably be around here. So the question is saying find out this height here. Okay, so two things: find out the total flight time, and also find out the height above the ground. Okay, so press pause and have a go. Okay, so to do this, first draw your velocity time graph. So this is the answer here. Draw your velocity time graph. In some of the earlier videos, I've shown you how to do this step by step. So now I'm just going to write down the answers, so you can just follow it through. So hang on, let me just give you a quick scroll, so you can pause this and try and understand it for yourself. Okay, so this is the answer here. I'm just scrolling it so that you can pause it in your own time. Okay. Okay. So now when we are given this, hang on. When we are given this problem here, we've got to find out the total flight time here, and also the time, well, the height above ground after 5 seconds. Okay. So the first thing you do is to draw your graph, your velocity time graph. I know there are quicker formulas that you can use, but learn to do it this way. By you doing this way, you can really see what's going on. So here, draw your velocity time graph, and then the velocity for this cannonball will be a straight line like this. And then the first, well, you should try and find a formula for this line, and then find out the maximum height. So the time to get to maximum height, and that time is when velocity is 0. So you put 0 into this v here, and then you would get this time here. So the time it takes to get to maximum height is given by this. Now, if this is the time it takes to get to maximum height, then the total flight time will be the same going down. Okay, so you just times 2. Okay, this sign here is therefore, because when I'm writing down the solution, I can't just write equals 2 times. I can't imagine this wasn't here. Then you're saying t is this, and then all of a sudden you write 2 times the answer. You can't. People would just think, oh, t is this, but then why would you stick a 2 in there? Well, the reason why we use this therefore here is because basically all this here is one chapter, okay, and then this here is something else. So now we're saying, oh, by the way, something else, flight time, therefore flight time equals 2 times this. Because if you just write equals 2 times this, then it doesn't make sense and it's hard to follow. So what you're saying is that you are splitting this up. This is one part of the explanation. This is another part of the explanation. You've jumped to something else. Okay. Well, anyway, so the flight time is given by this. Well, by this. Okay. Once you've got your flight time, well, flight time is one question. The next question is find out the height above the ground after 5 seconds. So after 5 seconds, hang on. So your flight time is here. You know it's 3.11. Now it's asking you after 5 seconds. Well, 5 is going to be over here because 3.11 is where it crosses here. So 5 must be over here. If they're asking you to find out the distance covered after 4 seconds, after 2 seconds, then 2 would be somewhere over here. In which case you would need this. But because I've asked you to find out the height of after 5 seconds, so you would need to take this into account here. Okay. Well, anyway, so after 5 seconds, it would be this. So after 5 seconds, you need the trapezium rule here. Get this height, plus this height, and then add the two together. Divide the 2 by 2. So get this height plus this height divided by 2. That will give you the average, and then times the whole length here. Well, follow this through. Okay. This height here is given by this, okay, and then so height above ground level. Well, you get this height, which is this, plus this height here, which is a negative number, and then divided by 2. That will give you, this thing here will give you the average, and then you times 5 here, because 5 is the whole length here, and the answer is this. Okay. So next question. Next question, hang on. Next question is, hang on. Okay, this is the next question here. So now we're on Mercury now. We're going to fire it at 32 meters per second. Gravity is this on Mercury. Find the height above the ground after 7 seconds. Okay, so press pause and have a go. Okay, so hang on. The answer is this. Okay, so you start with your velocity. Well, let me give you a quick scroll, and then you can pause and try and understand it for yourself. So the answer is this here. Hang on. There. Okay, so let me give you a quick explanation here. Okay, we've been given this problem here. Find out the height after 7 seconds. Okay, so the answer is this. First, you start by drawing your velocity time graph, and then it will be a straight line like this. Okay, hang on. Yeah, it will be a straight line here. Always try and find out the time it takes to get to maximum height. Then you will get an idea of what's going on. So once you've drawn your graph, find out the time it takes to get to maximum height. Well, it takes 8.65 seconds to get to maximum height. But the question is saying find out the height after 7 seconds. Now the 7 seconds is before the maximum height. So when you fire the cannonball, maximum height is here, but 7 seconds is here. So basically it's still on the way up. So because it's on the way up, 7 will be somewhere here. So in which case we will need this area here. Okay, so in this case, yeah, it's just area here. In the previous case, it was after the maximum height. So you needed to get this area and this area, merge the two together. But because this question is after 7 seconds, well, 7 is before the maximum height. So you only need this trapezium here. Okay, so you need this area here. Now, in which case you will need to work out this height here. Okay, this height here, which happens to be this. Okay, and then you will need to use a trapezium rule. Basically, once you've got this height here, get this height here, which is 32. Add this height here, divided by 2 will give you the average of the two heights, and then you would draw times this across here. This times by 7. That will give you the whole area. So the overall answer would be this. Okay, so yeah, so this is your answer here. Okay.